Hey all, and welcome back to Man of Medan's Theatrical cut. The spooks may be a-poppin', they're creeping up on us, but I'm in my dressing gown and I got a fresh cup of tea, so come at me, ghosts, I'm ripped!
Come at me, shark, indeed. But yeah, in the last part we had a bit of an incident with Fliss in that room that was oddly fancy, then it wasn't, then we found Brad and he was freaking out a bit, so now we're back over to Alex and Julia.
Okay.
And I'm glad we got a bit of diving practice in earlier, because we might need it.
Were the Medan and the crashed ship that close to each other, or is this haunted happenings?
No, the Medan just happens to have an aeroplane on board.
Shut up, Jesus. Oh, it's my BF, me soon-to-be husband.
How many times have we seen him die now?
I've actually lost track, honestly. Yeah, take the ring, take the ring!
That's the valuable part.
Okay, I can confirm. Is he alive? Is he down? Alright, we're starting off strong here. He was alive the whole time. No, now there's two of him. Bonus!
The joys of just random things occurring. This is very much reminding me of Living With Yourself, which I just watched on Netflix, because that's like two Paul Rudds, but that's funny, so...
Well, living with myself is the most terrifying thing of all, but, you know.
Stop! Stop!
Not entirely sure what's actually physically meant to be going on here. Is he trying to drown the pirate dude?
Well, it looks like he's trying to drown himself right now.
Well, I understand that there's like two of the guys there, but is one of them just like secretly the pirate dude?
Well, you could see the tattoos on the other one, so piece it together.
I'm not good at piecing things together. I need it explained to me, as if it were read off a Wikipedia article.
Well, I'm not going to spoil it that blatantly, so maybe just watch the fucking video and you'll see what happens.
And also there is plenty of time for Wikipedia reading later. I mean, I've got that whole thing on the actual, maybe not real, but the more realistic take on the Orang Medan. So I've still got that in storage, although that'll probably be more of a curator's cut take, I feel, than this take cut.
Hello, haven't seen you in a while.
I'm not entirely sure what's going on anymore. There's just like clones upon clones upon clones.
Well, that there was the knife that we were warned against taking, so we've accidentally armed the guy who's chasing us.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, that's always incredibly helpful, but I mean, to be fair, like, if we didn't take a knife, then we wouldn't be able to do anything against these crazy people, but then equally, you know, we have just armed them, so it's ended up for the worse.
Now I'm just second-guessing myself, because there were like two black guys there, and I don't know whether it was a clone of Alex or not.
Maybe it'll make sense in time, but now we're over to Conrad.
I never knew that ghosts would try and make me racist, but here we are.
You can't blame the ghost for everything.
That's the worst defense of Henry, it was a ghost.
However, that said, you can blame cinematography and lighting for creating such confusion, because I would say that that sequence was not, I say shot very well, but you get what I mean.
Like, it was done in a way that deliberately kept certain things vague.
Yeah, but also it was difficult to follow in terms of I couldn't tell who was doing what, because they weren't necessarily distinct enough. Now that's partially the point, I suppose, but like when you're doing this type of thing, you have got to be so careful with how you're presenting your scares in your action, because if something becomes difficult to follow by virtue of the way that it's presented, then it means that people are taken out of the experience of sort of being invested, because their brain's suddenly having to try and catch up to figure out what am I actually seeing rather than what's going on. And that is sort of it's the reason why so many modern day action sequences in films are generally not as good as they should be, because they're just cut to high heaven and you can't quite tell what's going on, so you're having to constantly catch up and just don't get to enjoy the actual combat that's taking place.
Yeah, I will say, Man of Medan is definitely a more psychological horror game than Until Dawn was. That was a lot of, like, prop horror and physical stuff assaulting the player. I won't spoil the twist, but it's kind of obvious if you read into one of the characters' parentage and what their jobs were and whatnot. Apparently all the film posters around that mansion were actual films.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, I hadn't even paid that much attention to that. But I will say, in terms of like the more complex like direction, in terms of like what stuff's cut and where, that in a way, because of how this plays out, it will make sense over time. It's just they're in a very difficult position, I want to say, in the fact that they need to communicate a certain message without it becoming clear. And you might be able to piece together what I'm saying probably in the next part, towards the halfway point or so. But for now, we have had a bit of music playing. That interpretation of My Echo, My Shadow and Me, that was also playing over the speaker in the prologue.
Ah.
And they've brought it back here.
What, is time unravelling on itself? We had some kind of, like, flapper girl back there giving it all this.
Yeah, well, maybe there's someone just loitering about, you never know.
Oh, come on. Really? You gonna pop out and say boo as well?
Also, Tom, I love how you were just like some flapper girl, like getting completely the wrong era. It's like, what is in the bloody part title?
Richie, I knew it was wrong the moment it came out of my mouth. You don't need to harangue me about it.
I know, but you could have at least gone for pin-up, which is actually what she is.
Well, I'm sorry, but the fucking word didn't come to my mind, alright? Oh. Okay, no jump scares in this cupboard.
Nah, don't worry, there's no jump scares.
You're a liar. You're a big old liar, Pants.
I would never lie to you about something
You have
like that,
lied multiple times to me. Oh, spooky. Okay, Conrad's feeling the spooks, I'm not so much.
Maybe it will in time.
Isn't that the guy from the insurance advert?
No, he's actually going to sell us fish fingers, it's fine.
To be fair, it looks more like Captain Obvious to me.
I'm not entirely sure who that is, Richie. Is it another advertisement thing?
Yeah, it's a more recent advertisement thing, because Captain Birdseye's kind of slightly gone away in the grand scheme of things.
Is that the one with the advert where, like, the guy forgets to buy bog roll? It will seem obvious if you've ever actually watched the advert. I'm not entirely sure if we're mixing up captains and advertisements here.
Are we talking Captain Birdseye or Captain Obvious?
Captain Obvious, I think, Richie. God, fuck this conversation. It doesn't matter.
I am so fucking lost here.
Well, Captain Obvious is like I think it's It's like Trivago or a hotel thing from what I remember, or it might be an insurance thing. It's definitely not a bog roll.
I stopped caring about this like 2 minutes ago.
It wasn't about bog roll. That was just one of the advertisements.
Oh, it may be. I honestly have no idea. Like, I don't pay that much. I pay attention to adverts, but I don't pay that much attention to
Okay,
the
let's just
specific
open
variation.
the fucking door already.
Conrad has every right to turn to us and say, shut the fuck up and pay attention to these tits that aren't there. Wait for it. Wait for it. Nothing. Absolute fuck all. There she is. I've seen the thumbnail, I know what's coming. It's okay. Calm down. You're doing fine. What the hell was that?
Whatever, like, it's like throwing knives, except she doesn't have any. I don't know what's going on there.
I mean, maybe it was shards of metal or bits of rubble, I don't really know.
I think one of the, like, entries you can read mentioned something about tin shavings or something.
Oh yeah, it might be that, yeah. Getting slightly less appealing by the minute, just gotta say.
Well, it's always too old for you, Flame.
What the fuck are you implying?
You know damn well what I'm implying.
This one's not anime years old, so I'll leave her alone.
Right, make sure you hit those buttons correctly or Conrad's a dead motherfucker.
Yeah, that can be quite a vicious death if you let it fall there.
Alright, in here. Let's see, where can we hide?
Hiding's for pussies, let's run. Which is also for pussies.
Caution, ladder.
Thank you for warning me.
Well, you have to be. They go up, and the sky is where bad things happen.
Well, I mean, also under the seas where bad things happen, like drowning.
True, but we're not technically under the sea right now. We're close to it.
Yeah, and if we're not careful, we'll be in it.
True, but I mean, you know, it could be totally worse. Like, we could not have a boat.
This is the most pedantic episode of Scooby-Doo I've ever seen. There you go. I'm assuming all of these are just deaths.
I don't know, I think you might get, like, a grace one. I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, we came out of Rusty Bucket Bay. Nice. God, fuck that engine room on the original N64 version. You die once, you have to collect all the notes again. Also, there's a zombie in this version.
Yeah, slight difference.
Becoming more and more Wendigo-esque by the moment.
It's a similar idea in the way it's moving around, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I will say, I do like that we've had the gradual deterioration of this monster. That is quite effective. I just wish, you know... I think it's probably the case of how short the game is, but it would have been really cool to have that progress throughout an entire game's worth.
I wanted to stay pretty for a while longer. That's what we're getting at.
Well, no, it's more, it would have been nice to sort of just have a bit more of a slow burn on the sort of descent into the horror of it.
Guess who pressed the wrong button?
Oh, you numpty.
Oh.
So, yes, there's the first death of this run.
Oh.
And that was literally me just doing basically what you did at the end of Detroit, Tom, of just like, oh shit, wrong one.
Twice, I think I'll find. Twice.
Yeah, like, you're still ahead of me in that regard.
Good. As long as I'm the best loser and the worst winner.
Yeah, but Blaine, you seem to forget that we've still got at least somewhat more of this game to go, so there's still time.
Yeah, we can patch the Dusto Conrad back into existence too.
Oh, look out, Nightmare Alex is coming. He's slightly more interesting.
He's got tattoos, he's even more badass.
Okay, so it's not the pirate with the wonky eye, or is it just combining the two models?
Well, I think it's trying to just show that there's something not quite right.
Let's see. Go to the door marked safe, or go to the door marked death. Which shall it be?
Gotta live on the edge, right?
There you go. When in doubt, run.
Julia does realise that, you know, she wants her boyfriend, well, her fiancé, to follow her. Like, why block his access, pat behind her? But these characters are not making intelligent decisions.
They're fucking terrified!
Have you ever been chased by a clone yourself? Just ask yourself that question.
No, you see, that it happened to me, like, you know, last Saturday. Like, it was super weird and all, but like, you just got to be cool about these things.
Why did Flame not attack the clone?
I was curious what had happened.
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, it's me. Come on, let's go. Jesus!
Oh, thank God. I was wondering where Brad was. He's the glue that holds this whole group dynamic together.
He seems to be the smart one, so yeah, we kind of need him around.
Stop!
Oh, God. Jesus, Conrad. Did you press the wrong button?
Worst fate of all.
Okay, we'll just ignore that then. Keep going.
They don't have time to loiter around just yet.
Yeah, but you would have expected the the facial animation to continue to be more traumatized than that. Like the further we go into this, the more I'm thinking you guys really should have given this more budget and more time. It's sort of it is beginning to lack quite a few things for me.
Okay, here we go. Yes, work it. Get those tears rolling.
Because, like, to be fair, that could be an adrenaline thing. The fact that it's hitting her here.
True, but my argument there would be that we had traumatized face, few seconds of I'm just running to more traumatized face. That sort of it would continue, I feel.
Maybe. Like, to a certain degree, I feel like these things in general do tend to be a bit disjointed when they're depending on decisions. Like, there's clearly the neutral middle state that it's pieced together between the two traumatized states.
Yeah.
So I get what you're getting at, but in terms of, like, in-universe and that is something that can happen. Of when the adrenaline's pumping, it's like you're in that constant ongoing panic.
Oh yeah, no, I get that.
And you just keep going, and then when you stop and slow down, that's when it hits you and you fall apart.
Oh, damn my constant need to be objective. Fuck.
Sorry for thinking psychologically in this psychological horror.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Let's add this to the big book of whoopsies, shall we? Conrad, dead.
And what about Conrad? Took a step into the unknown, I fear.
That's not funny.
Too bad.
I mean, it's that awkwardly giggling sort of reaction.
How to save the
Also, the
lives
curator
of
doesn't have nearly as
stowaways.
harder connection to the player characters because he's completely separated from them.
Yeah, he's more of an overseer than what we had going on until Dawn, which is kind of spoilery, so let's not go too far into that.
Oh, a hint. Nice.
He's going to give us another meaningless quote, isn't he?
I don't want spoilers.
Well then, how can I put this? There may be forces at play here that are more scientific, and even some that are more political, you know? Less supernatural.
Alright, I'm gearing up for the twist here.
To realize something.
I'm fucking clueless, to be honest, and I'm usually good at piecing together twists and whatnot. Alright, I'm eyeing these cards, something fierce.
Yes, I wasn't paying attention to the cards, but it looked like there may have been a few too many kings, but I don't know.
Well, I guess we'll see what the big old twisteroonie is next time in the finale of Madame Medan's theatrical cut. Bye bye for now, pip pip cheerio and all that jazz.